Hey, it's Denise. So I was thinking about vulnerability this morning. How are you with vulnerability? For me, I always feel like a layer of my armor has been removed, feeling exposed. And when I feel vulnerable, it's usually when I'm stepping out of my comfort zone and when I'm sharing a truth about myself that those around me might not yet have known. So it's exposure, it's rawness, it's not sure about putting it out there. But at the same time, I look back at Brené Brown's work and I'm reminded that being vulnerable leads us back to that connection, right? You need to have vulnerability for truth, for courage, and for connection. So then I'm like, okay, so what about this made me vulnerable? And it's that sharing, that not knowing how it will be received. So then I go back to, am I doing this for me or am I doing this for others? If I'm doing it for myself, then what others are thinking about me doesn't matter. If I'm doing it for others, then I need to reevaluate why I'm doing this for someone else and not myself. And I bring this up today because I'm looking at how much things have changed in such a short amount of time. And many of us are doing such different tasks or different jobs or different roles than we did, say, a year ago. And it's leaving many individuals vulnerable. And when we're vulnerable, some people react and act out. Some people retreat and go within and isolate. And to know what your pattern is and to know how that then plays in with your relationships, whether they're your relationship with yourself, your personal relationships, or your networking work relationships, it all then connects and interweaves, doesn't it? So if you're feeling vulnerable and you lash out, then you're keeping people at bay. You're keeping them away because they're like, well, I don't want to deal with that. But yet, if you're isolating and retreating, you're also keeping people at bay. And yet, we're not getting the results that we want, because when we're keeping people at bay and when we're shutting down or acting out, then we're shutting down, we're turning off that ability to make that connection. So we put it out there. It's like we dip our toe in the water, but then we retreat real fast. So that connection isn't there. So one of the things that I encourage you to do if you also struggle with this whole vulnerability thing, you know what? Vulnerability is not something that's usually been accepted in our society. It's usually been viewed as weakness or viewed as, being too much or, sharing too much. Whereas the vulnerability can help us grow. It can help show that we're real, and it can help then be a catalyst for change. So I encourage you to keep practicing your vulnerability, just as I am with mine, but see how you play it out. Do you put it out there and then you're like, I'm doing this for me and I'm okay with it, even if it's uncomfortable? Or you lash out or do you retreat? And look at that pattern and see if you do this more with yourself, your professional world, or your social world. How can you make that shift so you can keep staying on that path to take care of you and be your authentic self? Love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share them in the comments below or DM me. All right? Have a good day. Bye-bye.